Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Um, as most of you know that, this is being hosted by Team Palisades, and we're really excited that, we have this group with us. We have some great options for everyone for rebuilding. That's not complete custom from ground up, but the things that there's some semi-custom and then some, uh, permitted plans. And then of course we have Builders Alliance and Home Depot who will also show us what they have in store for us. So and then before we start, we're going to start with uh, my little survey that I had done a couple of weeks back, and then most of you guys I think are from the alphabets. There might be some that are not. In case you don't know me, my name is Mei Song. I'm part of Team Palisades, and I'm the Alphabet's neighborhood rep. And a full disclosure, I'm also an architect. I do mostly custom residential. And then also you'll meet case study 2.0. Stephen Summers is going to be presenting, and I actually have submitted a plan for case study 2.0, but really it's just there's no prejudice here. So the things that we're just trying to present as many options as there is for everybody to rebuild and come home, and that's our primary goal. And so I think we'll start with I'll share the survey if everyone's ready. So few weeks ago, the question came up about how many people are rebuilding in the alphabet. So that's sort of the reason why we started doing the survey. And a part of the question was just like, it was just very simple, few questions. Are you going to rebuild? And then if you're not going to rebuild, why? And this is what we ended up, and we had like a good turnout. There's about 100. This is earlier yesterday. So the thing is that we actually have more than 149 responses. I think we have over about 150. And and it's been really consistent. Over 70% of the alphabet, this is just for the alphabet neighborhood, do intend to rebuild. 20% are maybes, and there's about 6% no's. And out of that, out of the 70 some percent that intend to rebuild, actually, I was really surprised by this. 46.6 have already started design, currently working with an architect or a builder. 31% are in the planning stage, survey, architects, builder selection. And then, of course, then you have the rest, like, currently 9.3, currently in plan check. Then you have RTIs, and there's some of the people have already started construction, which is great news. That's very positive. So we want to try to get the numbers up. And then, so the biggest concern that people have are obviously financial. There's a lot of issues with under insurance, and then also length of construction, infrastructures, and the others. So the others, I kind of summarized it all, is insurance, logistic, people's age, community, loss of charm, concern with loss of charm, length of time, builders' resilience, neighbors' resilience. How resilient will their neighbors be? And then also toxin in the soil. And I'm going to share this with everybody in the deck. This is all the comments that we received back from all the different neighbors. There are over 150 comments. And then, of course, there's concerns of being too old. They don't need a big house. And then, they can't rebuild back. And then just the loss of the charm for the neighborhood and the community. One thing at Team Palisades that we're really trying to do is, connect everybody virtually, in person. And as most of you guys know, we have a system of, block captains and neighborhood reps. And then if you don't know who your block captain or neighborhood rep is, please feel free to put it in the chat, and we'll try to connect you, or just send me an email. And I think you guys all have my email from the Zoom link. So that's pretty much the survey. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I know there's some hand raised. We're going to respond to all the questions later on at the end. So the order of today's program is that we're going to start with case study 2.0, builders workshop, and Foothill Catalog, Builders Alliance, and Home Depot. And then we might go a little long for those who could join us. And then hopefully we'll end around 6:15. So we'll start with case study 2.0. Some of you guys probably have already met Stephen Summers virtually via other Zooms. And I think Stephen's going to also share screen with us and show us what they have in store for us. Of course, the big official launch is tomorrow night. And I don't know if Stephen, you want to drop the link in the chat so people know that. And then, but Steve, we all get a sneak preview here. So Stephen, take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you, May. And yes, we will put the information for the launch event that's happening tomorrow night at 5:30 p.m. at Eco Outdoor in the chat. Would love to see as many of you there as possible. Anyone that's interested, feel free to join. Before I dive in, May, thank you for putting all this together. These types of meetings, I think, are wonderful, not because it's a showcase for the program that I'm working on or that one of these other people are working on, but that it's all of us together. Because I think something that's been really exciting to see over the past 6 months is how many really talented groups have kind of started these different initiatives. And so, I've worked really closely with the Builders Workshop Reset team, the Builders Alliance, and I know the Foothill Catalog is doing great work as well. And so it's exciting to see all of these options that are being presented to everyone in the community today. So case study 2.0. This is an initiative that we've now been working on for a little under 6 months. And as May mentioned, our official launch happens tomorrow. In the wake of the fires, we, like so many of you, were thinking about how do we rebuild these communities in a way that is faithful to what made these communities so special in the past. And really, we were thinking about both the Palisades and Altadena. And this question of how do you rebuild 100 years of character within the next 5 was really resonating with us. And ultimately, I run a company called Crest Real Estate that's a land use consulting and permitting company. We're sort of a hub at the center of a number of different really talented architectural and engineering firms. And we thought the best way that we could help solve that problem was by organizing a group of world-class architects to prepare standard plan model homes for the most commonly replicated lot shapes and sizes throughout the community. So ultimately, we gathered just over 40 of these architects. May is one of them, and she doesn't want to toot her own horn, but her design is really spectacular. And we asked them to present a concept plan. It could be traditional, contemporary, single story, 2-story. We wanted to invite variety. However, those designs had to meet certain standards. First, and let me make this full screen. They needed to be beautiful. This part was easy because the architects that are part of the program, but there is some concern in the community that what gets rebuilt will kind of lose the character, and people will just be focusing on building affordably and quickly, but not beautifully. And affordably and quickly are really, really important, but I think if we can achieve all 3, that's where we really start to create something special in this community when it gets built back. It would go to the next slide. Next, durable. As May mentioned, it's really important. People are really concerned about how resilient are the homes going to be built back. So we've provided the IBHS standards to all of our architects as part of the program, and everyone is designing to really the highest tier fire resilience standards. Customizable within reason. So there's an ability within these designs to customize finishes, and that's sort of within the set budget for each design, which is $25 per square foot for the architectural plans, which is significantly less than these architects would typically charge. but you can change finishes. And then if you want to make other changes, you can work with the architect on an hourly basis to implement those changes. Sustainable, making sure that we were upholding contemporary sustainability standards. Economical, as I mentioned, this really should be earlier in the presentation, because ultimately none of this matters if it can't be built affordably. We are very aware that at the end of the day, for everyone who's building back here, this is a major, major investment and it needs to make sense. And so we asked all of the architects to really focus on designing structurally efficient plans, but then also to provide significantly reduced costs. So the consultant costs are going to be reduced with the architectural fees as well as the structural fees. We've gotten structural engineers to agree to a $3 per square foot fee. And we're also going to be further reducing costs through material partnerships that we've made with companies like Fleetwood, Western Doors and Windows, Eco Outdoor, which is a company that provides tiles, stone, brick, wood flooring, et cetera. And through those partnerships, they're going to be providing 15 to 30% discounts on those items for homes that are built as part of the Case Study 2.0 catalog. And then, of course, when these things are built at scale, because they're intended to be model homes, it will also be less expensive to build because a contractor will be building the same plan time and time again, rather than a custom one-off home where every single detail is truly new. Lastly, we wanted them to be faithful. We wanted these to uphold the history of the place that they're rooted in, but also take it into the new generation and really this new chapter. So as we were thinking about this phrase really stuck in our minds, which is these are homes made to remake. What we mean by that is they're homes made to be remade individually because they're standard plans built out one after the next, but they're also meant to remake the community as a whole. I have a few images of some of the designs here, and then I'm actually going to switch over to the website because we just launched the website recently and I want to show you all how it works. This is May's design, which is beautiful, and actually there is a two-story option included in the catalog as well. A beautiful design from Richard Beard Architects. Studio William Hefner with a really beautiful, more traditional design. Oppenheim Architects, leaning more contemporary, and AHA Studio with a really beautiful contemporary design. I think this is a really good example of how we ask the architects to not entirely shy away from finished materials, but not throw it all over the building. So the second story here has a stucco facade, but they've used this brick on the exterior to sort of make it beautiful but manage costs at the same time. I'm going to just switch over real quickly to the website so I can show you all the search function and everything that we've built out here. So bear with me. And I'm trying to be mindful of time. I know we've got a lot of presenters here. So this is the website. And what I really just want to show you all really quickly, this actually just went live today, but we now have a search function. So if you click the homes on the website, it'll show you renderings of all of the different homes that are included in the catalog. But then let's say you want to build a home that's between 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. There you go. It's now reduced only to plans that are within 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. And then let's say you want to build a single story home. Okay, now here are single story options. And let's click on one and enter your info. And then you'll be able to actually see the full presentation package from that architect. And I mean, these architects truly went above and beyond in putting all of this together. There is so much information in the packages that they prepared. And actually, I thought this slide is frozen. Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to get to this one here. It's frozen a little bit, but I think you can see. So in this design, they actually have options within the design. So there's a 1-bedroom option, a 2-bedroom option, and a 3-bedroom option. This is one that has been designed for the Alphabet Streets. And I will say, since this is an Alphabet Street group, over half of the designs are actually Alphabet Street specific. This is the community that we were most focused on these designs work in several other areas as well. But really for the alphabet streets, there's a lot of options included here. So if you go to the website, you find a design that you like, what would happen next is you'd reach out to us, contact information is on the website, and then we would connect you directly with that architect. And they'll build out the standard plan with an engineer and a project team. We'll take it through the city. And ultimately, you'll be able to get building. And we've already kind of passed the first, 4 to 6 months of a typical project, which is the architectural concept design. So even just right off the bat, you're also saving a lot of time with options like these. And that's going to be the same with some of the other options that are presented after as well. So knowing that there's a lot of people here who are going to be presenting, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing now, but I really appreciate everyone tuning in. And to the extent that any of you are able to make it tomorrow night at Eco Outdoor, we'd love to see you there.
All right, right on time, Steve. I'm very proud. Setting a good precedent. Thank you so much. That was great. And I think there are some questions I just answered. So I shared the website with everyone. So go ahead, go to the website. You probably will be able to find more information, right? For the launch tomorrow too, Stephen, there with it. Is that on the website?
Sorry, repeat the question one more time.
Is the launch information, eco outdoor information on the website too? Are they able to find that?
It is not, but I will put it in the chat.
Okay. All right. That's great. All right. Well, Builders Workshop, you're next.
All right. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see that, May?
Yes, it's coming on now. Yes.
Okay, great. Well, that's awesome, Steve. And I think I speak on behalf of a lot of Palisadians when you say we're really grateful for the monumental effort that you've put together to do this. I mean, it's an amazing resource for the whole Palisades. And thank you, May, so much. This is all really near and dear to me. I'm the only person in my family whose home didn't burn down or was significantly damaged. So I'm Matt McCroskey, and I'm with Builders Workshop. I'm a lifelong Palisadian and a proud alum of Methodist Preschool, Corpus Christi, and Loyola High School. Joining me today is Chad Brown. Chad's our head of steel construction, who will share more about our innovative approach later. So who is Builders Workshop? Our founder and my longtime friend, Jeff Hackett, has spent 15 years building homes here in the Palisades and across the West Side. Our leadership team has 70 years of combined home building experience, with the unique distinction of being part of recovery efforts in 10 major disaster zones. We're the champions of building back better and stronger. We're the group that will build you an insurable house. How? Because we frame our houses entirely with light gauge steel instead of wood. Our disaster recovery experience, which includes Hurricane Katrina, the Sonoma fires, Malibu's Woolsey fire, and others, taught us the three biggest challenges facing affected communities. We developed a system for residential steel framing that directly addresses these three issues. First is cost. Insurance payouts often fall short of actual rebuilding costs. Time. Temporary housing allowances rarely cover the extended timelines. And insurance. A lot of people are asking if they will be able to obtain insurance for their homes. To address these challenges, Chad and I are excited to introduce our two products for the Palisades. First is Reset. Reset is a rebuilding solution tailored for the alphabet streets. We partnered with 4 of LA's top architects to design 3,000 to 5,000 square foot homes that are built faster, priced closer to insurance payouts, and made with fire resilient materials. The homes you'll see today are priced between $600 and $700 per square foot, complete with fixtures and appliances. Those numbers are based on current supplier and subcontractor pricing. The entire steel frame of the home can be erected in about 10 days. That's compared to the months it typically takes to frame and lumber. On insurance, we've secured a game-changing commitment from Marsh McLennan to cover every Palisades home built with our steel frame system. So I'm going to rip through this real quick. And the reason I'm doing it is because these will be put on our website. They're not entirely complete yet, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to dwell on them. These are the 4 architects that we're working with: Woods Dan Guerin, Rios, EYRC, and David Montalba. So this is the first plan. This is from EYRC. It's a 2-story, 2,900 square foot home, 3-bed, 2.5 bath. Something you should notice is when you look at the 2 floor plans, when you look at the top of those plans, we load all of the plumbing on one side of the house. Back to Steven's point, we started with pricing in mind and kind of went backwards, but never sacrificing beauty. So when you vertically stack plumbing like this on one side of the house, you're going to save a lot of money. The second home is by Rios. It's a 3,300 square foot single story home, 3-bed, 2.5 bath. Take a look at the pink boxes on top of the house. What that is, it's their unique philosophy of, well, you can grow into the house over time. These are 2 bedrooms that you can add over time because the home is engineered to handle that load. The third home is by Woods Dan Guerin. It's 3,000 square feet. It's a 2-story home, 3-bed, 3.5 bath. I think what I love about this home is situated right in the center of the lot with a lot of glass on the ground floor. So from every angle in the house, really, you're looking at landscaping. It's a really pretty design, great entertaining house. The whole bottom level is kind of for friends and family with all the bedrooms upstairs. Finally, we have David Montalba. It's about a 4,000 square foot, 2-story home, 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath. Something unique here. They were all thoughtful. There's a flex room between the first and second bedroom upstairs. It could be an office. For me, it'd probably be the playroom for my kids. So I know that was a lot, but I'm going to hand it off to Chad Brown now, who will talk about what makes Reset different. Every home is framed with light gauge steel instead of wood. But beyond Reset, Builders Workshop offers flexibility. You can hire us as your general contractor for any Palisades project, or you can partner, or we can partner with your chosen contractor to frame your custom home with our steel system built to your architect's vision, including the homes that Stephen displayed at Case Study 2.0. Chad, go ahead and take it away, and then I'll have my closing remarks.
Okay, well, first of all, thank all of you guys for having me here. I'm super excited to come to you from New Orleans, Louisiana. You may hear it in my accent. And this, just being a part of this is a deep passion for me because, you know, your Palisades fire was my Hurricane Katrina in 2005. My family, my parents' house I grew up in, my wife's family, my kids' school, we lost everything in the community. And so learning the lessons I learned inside of Hurricane Katrina, I knew that we had to find a faster, better, still affordable way, but most importantly, an insurable way to put a home back together after a natural disaster. So it wasn't long after Katrina that we started getting things back together in New Orleans, and I came across this steel framing system that is basically a 3D printing system for a house out of steel, just in the framing members. But what it does is it gives the architects and engineers a way to design a project out of standard 2x4 and 2x6 dimensions and truss dimensions for the floors and the roof, and is a total engineered system. So the way that we accomplish this is we use a steel system that is designed to compete with timber. And as we get into, you'll see the design that Matt just pulled up on the screen there. This is what we provide as part of our framing system. So this is truly a custom framing job. It's not a modular house. It's not a prefab house. But these pieces and parts are put together off-site or immediately on-site upon delivery, and then they're stood up relatively, quickly compared to wood, much faster. And so this accelerated portion of the schedule that we can commit to in the framing gives us a lot of parameters to control cost on the job site. So there's zero waste in it. It's completely recycled U.S. steel. We get it locally, and the local help can be trained to erect it. So having people to erect it is super simple. And then that gives us the ability to have cost efficiencies inside of the design that we control. Since there's no waste, the little things that you don't think of, right? Like having a guy put little cutoffs of wood into a wheelbarrow and roll over to a dumpster. Well, during our framing process, you don't need a guy doing that. You don't need the labor. You don't need the risk of injury, and you don't need the dumpster. We erect the entire framing of the house with zero waste because it comes out of our facility that way. So, in doing that, it's like, okay, well, how do you guys do that? We have predictable execution because of how we do our 3D modeling design based on the house that your architect provides us, his design intent. So whether it's one of the houses that we have in our program or whether it's a custom house from an architect that's a one-off, we can provide the framing system for it. And what we ran into after Hurricane Ida, which was most recently 3 years ago in New Orleans, is that the insurance companies were charging rates that made a lot of people have to sell their homes after they rebuilt. They just simply couldn't afford to stay in the house. So we went to the insurance companies and we said, okay, well, what can we do to make this better? We've been framing with this metal system since 2016. We haven't had a structural failure ever in over 3,000 structures across the Gulf Coast. We're in all the current code books, our technology specifically, since 2018. And once researching this, Marsh McLennan came back to us and said, that's it. We'll never do another house in wood. We don't want to insure wood anymore. We want everything to be metal. And so they switched to backing everything that we do inside of their insurance program specific to us, to our technology. So anything that's built there with our steel system will be insurable through Marsh McLennan, just like Matt said. Not only that, it comes out straighter, faster, with less waste. And we're doing some additional things inside of the builder's workshop ecosystem to even make it faster and more affordable and really maintain our control on the waste and then on the supply chain. So if you can control time, waste, and supply chain and construction, you can control cost. And this is how we do it. We start off to the far left of your screen. You'll see the BIM model 3D design. So you bring us your plans. We create this design inside of our software. The software then creates a run file that goes into 3 machines. Like you see in the next slide, these panel machines that we have, there's a 2x4, a 2x6, and a truss panel machine. It then produces your house out of those machines to your architect's design standards. And then we are actually doing a similar process inside of our mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. We are taking much of the plumbing and doing it inside of our facility in the wall panels as we assemble them, so that we have the plumbing, the electrical, and the mechanical 70% complete when it's brought out to the site to be erected, which is going to speed up your time on site and also help you control costs so you don't have wasted wire, wasted plumbing, wasted mechanical parts and pieces laying around a job site that you always see. And so after it's stood up, we move over, or after it's delivered, we move over to the site installation. It comes out in panels, as you can see in the middle picture there. One's being stood up. We need less manpower, less equipment because it's lightweight, which is why it's less expensive and goes faster. And then after it's framed and after you see the metal shiny frame standing up, everything else goes together just like a traditional house would. Same exterior type of sheathing, stucco, siding, roof shingles, interior insulation, sheetrock paint, floors. So once it's finished, you would never know it's a steel home. But you start getting your insurance bill or you go through a natural disaster and you're no longer contributing to the fuel of a fire in your area. You have a home that's insurable for a lot less rate and one that you'd be proud of as a design. So with that, I thank you for my time.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you for your explanation.
I just want to
Matt,
make it quick.
Okay, great.
Closer. Thank you so much, mate. So something we talked about internally, we're excited to discuss tonight is we really want to see these 4 designs get built so that people can see them. So please let me know if anyone is interested in an arrangement with us where we would build one of these 4 designs on your property at cost by waiving our general contractor fee in exchange for a homeowner allowing us to schedule open houses for your neighbors. In terms of next steps, we're working with the architects to finish those plans, and we'll put them on our website, which is also a work in progress. But you can scan the QR code that's on the screen now, which would take you to buildersworkshop.com, which is our website. And you can provide your information. We can start the dialogue. So that's it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Matt. All right. Next up, we have Foothill Catalog. Foothill Catalog is our compatriots from Altadena. They know exactly what we're going through. And then they have a great program going on there. I thought that we would introduce them because hopefully, they could also help us out on our side of the town. All right, Alex.
Yeah, thanks, man. I will share my screen here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, see that? All good? Okay, so yeah, thanks May and everyone for having us here. As she said, we are the Foothill Catalog Foundation. I'll talk a little bit about what we've built in Altadena and what our program is, and the success we're having in Altadena just a few months after fire. And now as we are looking to expand our program and how we are trying to establish partners to be a resource for the Palisades community as well. So if you haven't heard of the Foothill Catalog Foundation, we are a nonprofit organization with the mission to develop a collection of pre-approved home designs for residents to affordably and resiliently rebuild, but with an emphasis on retaining that community identity and local architectural character that's really palpable and really special to people, both in Altadena and in the Palisades. And so a quick background on me, I'm co-founder with my wife here, Cynthia. We are both licensed architects. We are in Pasadena. We were evacuated from our home. We're very close to that community. And so as architects, but as also as members of the Altadena community, we knew exactly the challenges that were going to be faced by homeowners who had never looked at building anything. And I think people who have even gone through a bathroom remodel know that it can be a full-time job and it can consume your entire life. So now, after the most traumatic experience of people's lives, of losing a home, now having to go through this arduous process of designing a home, permitting a home, and building from scratch. What our goal was to create a mechanism to make that process most effective and attainable, not only for people who could afford it or had insurance coverage to go through that process, but also for families who might be underinsured or who were looking for small, modest homes to fit their families and to fit their needs for the next generation. So in Altadena, that diversity and that character of people is really important that we're trying to be able to retain, to make rebuilding equitable and attainable for all people. And similarly with a focus on the place to make sure that this identity, this palpable heritage and character, that is why people love living in Altadena and why people love living in Palisades in the first place, that we rebuild and provide options so that rebuilding is attainable, but also not mutually exclusive with quality, beauty, and safety. And so our model for doing this is, as many of you might have heard, is the Sears catalog model. And if many aren't familiar, but it's in the 20th century, the Sears Roebuck Company and many other companies developed essentially pre-approved buildings or designs that you could order out of a catalog and it would be shipped right to your door, and you would build it yourself or hire your local contractor to build it. So in that sense, it was incredibly successful at building out these neighborhoods across the country that we know and love, and building quality homes that were non-custom designs, but still afforded the ability for homeowners to choose what home style they want that was going to meet their family's needs, and also make it attainable specifically for working class people looking to build equity on their lot and really looking to build the American dream. So in this disaster relief scenario, what we want to do to make rebuilding attainable for all, that's where the Foothill Catalog Foundation comes in. And we're a nonprofit organization, as I said, based in the community and really trying to be a channel the voice of the community and what individual homeowners want to see for their rebuild, what they want to do, and how they want to utilize their property for the next generation of homeownership, but also for the community as well, and how they want their neighborhoods and their friends and neighbors to thrive in this post-disaster environment. And so a little bit about the mechanism of kind of what time and cost savings can be afforded by going with a pre-approved catalog design is essentially eliminating the arduous design and a lot of the permitting process that goes into building a home. And I think these are the obstacles that we're looking to overcome just to get to the point where you can actually get shovels in the ground and start construction. So what the Foothill Catalog does is by providing designs that eliminate any customization, they're non-custom standard catalog plans, we can eliminate that often long and costly time process of custom design by pre-approving them. And this is a system we've gotten through and developed with LA County. And I'll actually touch on this right now is in LA County, we've developed this pre-approval process where essentially they've created with our guidance a permitting mechanism to pre-approve and do plan check and review for homes and designs that do not have a specific lot in place. And in this sense, then once a home is pre-approved, it can be published in the catalog, and homeowners can then select designs that are appropriate for their lot, appropriate for their needs, and also for their budget of what they're looking to rebuild. And once they select a design, the permitting process, there's only the specific plan check and verification needed to actually get a building permit and start construction. So that's a process that we've developed over the past few months with LA County. We're in talks with the city of Los Angeles to develop a similar mechanism to allow this pre-approval process to exist for the Palisades as well. And so, a few of our designs here, we're really focusing in Altadena on modest homes for working class people that need solutions too. So in Altadena and the Palisades, the communities are very different, and but the needs are the same after these unprecedented disasters. And it's to provide reasonable, beautiful, quality designs for people who might otherwise not be able to afford to go through that process from a time perspective, from a cost perspective, or even just from the knowledge that it takes to navigate rebuilding. So we've just kind of had the first pre-approval in LA County history. We just received pre-approval on the Lewis, which is this kind of middle design up here. And this is a huge achievement for us as a nonprofit organization. And we're looking to launch to 10 plans by the end of July, to have 10 plans pre-approved by the county, and then eventually scale to 50 by the end of the year. And so as we look to, this is what we're doing in Altadena. I think there's a lot of crossover with what we're building here, the designs we're offering that range from 800 square feet all the way to 2,000 plus, but then create a solution for the Palisades as well, to develop a Palisades focused catalog. And that will be in conjunction with the community, really listening to homeowners of what they need in terms of size, style, articulation, what will work for their lots. And I think a lot of the designs we're working on in Altadena can meet those needs, but obviously continuously developing new designs that can be folded in the catalog, that can be pre-approved eventually by LA City, will really expedite and expand the optionality even amongst non-custom designs. So with that, I'll leave it there. You can check out more of what we're up to, especially in Altadena, and the progress we're making with LA City and the Palisades as well at foothillcatalog.org. And feel free to follow along at the Foothill Catalog on Instagram, or reach out with any questions or comments, or to get involved and to donate at info@foothillcatalog.org. So thank you for your time, and thanks for everyone else for all of these resources that I think are really going to show the world of what we can all do when we collaborate. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Alex. This is great. No, I'm really excited for the possibility of being able to bring this program into the Palisades. And then next, well, we have heard all from the architectural side. And now we have Builders Alliance. We've been looking forward to this. So take it away, Douglas.
Great. Thank you very much. I'm going to share screen here. My internet's a little bit unstable, so if I lose you, I apologize in advance, but hopefully we'll be okay. It's been okay so far. Can you hear can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Is my screen shared? I can't see it.
Yes, it is shared. Go ahead.
Great.
Go right ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. My name is Douglas Woodward. I'm here on behalf of Brookfield Homes, but more importantly, the Builders Alliance. And Brookfield and other builders have come together, and in looking at, what has occurred, for us, the thought of there's 10,000 plus homes that need to be rebuilt, and there just aren't enough contractors, there aren't enough people really to get that done efficiently. So our desire really was to bring a bunch of builders together that would allow us to put together a portal, which I'll share with you in a minute, and provide an opportunity for folks, not everybody, but the right folks, to use one of the builders on this list here to help them rebuild. Our really main focus is that we're a turnkey solution. You might imagine, so the old easy button from the Staples commercial. The people that have lost their homes have families and they have kids to take care of. They have jobs to go to. They have all kinds of responsibility. And as Alex talked about, the process going through and designing a home and permitting a home, it's arduous, it's difficult. It's what we do every day, but it's not what these folks do every day. And so we're looking to provide that turnkey solution where you find a home that works for you. We have a price, and then we just take care of it. We take it from there. We are working with the Foothill Catalog, which has done an amazing job in Altadena. We look to work with them going forward, as well as a Case 2.0 as well. The other thing is, on the Builders Alliance, our goal was to have really a builder for everybody. There are some builders on this list that are just going to build certain homes that fit certain size lots, but there's certainly people that have topography. There are people that have, uniquely shaped lots, that there won't be a pre-designed house for. And our goal really was that if you go to the Builders Alliance website, which doesn't exist yet, we're working on that, we'll be able to serve you in some manner. So really, we're looking at the Builders Alliance is sort of this intersection of landowners, the people out there affected, the builders, as well as governmental agencies. We're working just like Alex and his team are working with the County of LA. We are doing the same, and working with the City of LA as well, to really cut through that red tape and get these homes built and get everybody on this call back in their homes as soon as possible. The Builders Alliance is hoping to build 3,000 to 4,000 homes over the two affected areas over the next 5 years. If it's 1,000, fine. If it's 5,000, fine. We're here to build whatever needs to be built. We really look to make a meaningful difference in terms of cost by bringing the production mentality and the buying power that we as production builders have. We hope to be able to serve some of the people who maybe otherwise might have to sell. There are families out there that their insurance provides enough money to build a nice home, but not to go through the entire process and hire someone to do that. But with the Builders Alliance builder, quite possibly we can help keep people in the Palisades and keep people in Altadena, which is really a great goal. Our portal that we're just kicking off right now, which is still going to be some time. The intent is that you'll be able to go in, you'll be able to type in your address, enter your information, and all the data that on your home or what your home was is there. Lot size, lot width, size of the lot, and then there'll be a series of questions asking you what you want. Do you want the same size house? Do you want 110%? Do you want to go as big as you can go in the lot? Because everybody's going to have a different answer. And then once you answer that question, the portal will bring up, I'm gonna just make up some numbers here. It's going to say, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, there are 5 plans here by 3 different builders that meet your criteria. And then those homes are brought up. It tells you what the cost is, who the builder is. It lets you explore that home, that design, and then allows you to reach out to that builder and see which is the right builder for you. The technology will also, be sure that, you're not putting a house that doesn't fit, right? So it actually will drop the footprint of the home. It will let you maneuver the footprint around. If you get into the setback, it'll tell you it's in the wrong place. It'll help guide you through that. It's very robust and really quite an awesome thing. We're working with a group called Can I Build as the basis, and that contract has just been let, and we're trying to move that forward. So as I said, our goal really is to help as many folks as we can. We are not for everybody, but we will be a great solution for many people. And we hope to be able to help you out and help out the Dina and help Palisades build back better and get back into their homes. So that I'll tell you, thank you for listening.
That was great, Douglas. That was very exciting. That's the first time I saw it too. So I'm looking forward to it. So last but not least, we have our special guest from Home Depot. As you could tell, Steve is on the screen right now wearing proudly wearing the Home Depot orange apron. So we have the supply side too covered here. So take it away.
All right, thank you, May. As I'm sharing screens here, let me pop this up and go ahead and share. Is that coming through just fine?
Yes, it's coming through fine.
Okay, awesome. May, thank you so much for having me on the call. Super honored and privileged to be able to help out any way Home Depot we can. Home Depot, as everybody knows, well, first, a little bit about me. Steve Gascoigne, I'm the outside sales director for all of Southern California, really helping over the pros and the contractors out there and the builders kind of be more efficient and drive more profitability and builds. And we are, as you guys know, we're 45 years in the industry, and the past 3 to 5 years, we've been investing billions within investments and acquisitions and trying to build out a one-stop shop and an end-to-end solution for all contractors and builders of all business trades. And really lean into the network we have, the ecosystem that we're building to really pay forward and use our buying power and really cover end to end. And when you look at that with our other companies we have, not only Home Depot, but we have SRS Building Supply, and then we have HD Supply as well within our network that we kind of lean into in one family that we have. And that's what we've been kind of focusing on and really building and leaning into. One thing that's really good for us and what we're focusing on too is trying to really go after and be the one-stop shop. So if you think about a building from dirt moving all the way through to handing the keys over on a single-family home or a multifamily home or a multifamily building, and everything in between for us to be a one-stop shop and use our ecosystem there. But what comes with this and where we're really kind of privileged for is to help out any way we can with the fires in the Palisades and Altadena and really get in the community as we are big with community and trying to help rebuild. The goal for us is use these capabilities that we're doing, but also keep the costs down for all homeowners through our builders to where we can kind of really go after and protect the shell of the home for any fire rated products, but also give enough where we can, take care of the inside of the building too, and protect that. So I just want to share kind of what we've been focusing on, and it's really just one page overview. I'm not going to cover all of this, and you can read through as I'm kind of going with it. But the biggest thing that we're really investing in is like a supply chain in logistics, and that's the purpose. So we have 2,000 plus stores. And that was built, like I said, 45 years of DIY buildings. Now we're building an ecosystem outside the stores to be able to take care of any and all pros and any and all builds for any kind of reason for expansion, for builds, natural disasters and everything. And in the logistics to that. So the supply chain, we have $1 million warehouses, Paris, Irwindale, Rancho Cucamonga, that we now have as an ecosystem direct to job site where we house all lumber, box truck deliveries. And then what comes with that is our own private fleets, flatbed, car, van service, and really being nimble there to be able to be fast and efficient and take on that cost. And then also prior to that, for a home to be rebuilt, we have been really investing in a blueprint takeoff program and a process. We use a third-party company all across the US for blueprints, and we also do in-house blueprint reading, and we have a lot of blueprint specialists that we have just specifically for Southern California and for this kind of rebuilds where we can help out. And that is to really give a full takeoff program there. And then we can link it to our catalog, our one supply chain outside of our stores, and really try to help keep costs down. And when you look at a house from end to end, we can use our buying power that we can help keep costs really low to help as many homeowners to be able to get back and actually be able to rebuild and afford it with the kind of the landscape we're in. And that's what we're really trying to do, is pay it forward with the buying power we have and keeping costs down. And I think we're at a unique spot to be able to help take care of our builders that can pass it on to you as well with our supply chain. And then there's many other capabilities that you can see through here with the blueprints, with the one supply chain, with dedicated support sales teams out in the fields, on job sites. We have designers, interior designers certified with design books. We have a virtual assistants, and then a lot of really good trade credit offerings. And we also are leaning into the labor, because we know the labor is going to be a big key when we really start opening the floodgates and we start building and helping the community get back with all the builders. It's going to be a labor piece too, right? So we have this thing called Path to Pro that we've been building out for the past 3 to 5 years. So we've been working with trade schools to really help people go through that with specialty trades, electricians, plumbers, and place them within the industry for builders, for contractors. And also we're working with Camp Pendleton in the military to also train them up to 2 to 3 year schooling. So when they do get out of the military, we actually place them on our B2B website to where a contractor, a builder can actually go on and actually place them. They can hire those people or just use them and give them a temporary service. So we're working on the labor piece as an organization. And I think that is something we're very proud of, between the labor system and really just building out an ecosystem that we can kind of offer up to the communities, just like the natural disasters and the floods, the hurricanes, and really this here with the fires, and really kind of soak up as much as we can to help as many families get back in their home and afford it. So that's really it. I didn't want to go deep diving in. We just have a lot more capabilities there. If you're taking a picture of it, that we can do more support. And that's kind of it, May. Just wanted to offer it, and thank you for allowing me to introduce myself and kind of going over what we're building outside of our store ecosystem, by the way, to help out any way we can.
Thank you so much, Steve. This is great. No, hopefully we'll have some cross-pollinating going on with all the panelists here. So there's a lot of questions that's in the chat. And of course that, Judy's been waiting for a long, long time. So go ahead and raise your hands and we'll also take some questions. So Judy, do you want to speak? Judy? You could go ahead and unmute yourself now.
Oh, hi, May. Thank you so much for organizing this. Yeah, I was wondering if the Builders Alliance will work with custom designs. If it was answered, I'm sorry I missed it. Or only the pre-approved designs.
Yeah, no, I answered it, but I'm happy to answer it for the benefit of everybody. The Builders Alliance includes builders of many types. So we've got some larger scale builders, production builders like Brookfield, and we have some small custom guys that if you have a particular lot that needs a custom design or topography, or that's just your desire, that there are builders in the Alliance that will provide that as well.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Madeline.
Hi.
Madeline, go ahead.
Anyhow, I was wondering about the steel framed houses and earthquakes.
Yeah, I can take that answer. And that's a great question, Madeline, especially for the area that it's in. The steel frame, our engineered system that we use is a specific technology. So it is not like going down to the metal framing store and buying metal framing studs and building your house with. It comes as an engineered technology. And that engineered technology adheres to all current local, state, and national building codes. So it adheres to the seismic restrictions that are in the area for the areas that we were building in. And it also does it more efficiently than wood framing. So wood framing requires a lot more clips, screws, hold downs, you name it, parts and pieces to get it to fall under the proper code versus what we do out of metal. So we're tested, we're approved, we have an ICC code rating, and then we're in all the code books, both IBC and local LA codes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I guess, is there any more questions? I guess you guys did such an excellent job that you answer all the questions while presenting. Wow, I wish my kids were like you guys. Follow directions and then answer all the questions. Oh, no, we have one more. Oh, actually, now it's coming in. All right. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I'm wondering with the metal construction, is there a way to achieve a thermal break so that on hot days it doesn't get too hot, and on cold times you're not having to massively heat the house?
Sean, that's another great question. Yeah, so heat transfers a lot faster through metal than it does for wood. And there are specific code requirements to stop that heat transfer, right? So the way that we do that is with just 1-inch rigid foam that can be bought from Home Depot. It goes around the entirety of the house. It gives you another layer, another R value, but primarily it's there to stop the heat or cold transfer. It's a problem in hot climates if you don't have that insulation, and it's a problem in cold climates as well. But that's how we deal with it, and it's inside the code requirements of the IBC.
Do you guys use rock wool, or is it just the
Rock wool can be, yeah, there's a number of ways it can be addressed, but yes, it's something that has come up and that is part of the code book and that is part of every build that we do now for that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the new Energy Star standards have a specific, they're by the government, have a specific standard we have to adhere to as far as the heat transfer in the envelope. And the architects are adept to a number of products that can get us there, either metal or wood framing.
Okay, okay. Would you say that a metal framed house is stronger? I obviously you can overbuild a house to be as strong as anything you'd want, but I'm saying, I guess, for the same amount of material,
yes,
would you say metal is a stronger building material than the wood because of the engineering involved?
Because it's an engineered total system, right? And it's done by machines, right? And so you don't have, a wood carpenter that may be hungover from the football game cutting 2x4s out there, cutting one a little short, one a little long. That happens from time to time.
Right.
This is all done in a controlled environment, controlled facility, so it's stronger by that respect. But then also just from the lateral and gravity loading that takes to get the loads out of the building, the metal is a lot more efficient. So the wood can be engineered just as strong with more pieces, parts, and clips. But right out of the box, the metal is more efficient and stronger and priced about the same as wood right now, with wood being as low as it is. But typically wood does this. Our product stays level. So when wood starts to spike, we're less than wood. Right now, it's about dead even as far as cost.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Sean. And then next, I think we have Stephen.
Hi. Thanks, May. So my question, and I'm not sure who would address this, but the city has the expedited permitting program for homes that will be built like for like, and that may require that, from what I've heard from building and safety, that they will waive set side yard and setback requirements and so forth, so that we can make it like for like. Is that something that any of the builders or the designers are going to be able to accommodate something like that for people who want to build, the same square footage with the same kind of room numbers and so forth? I still haven't gotten a clear answer to what like for like really means as far as building and safety is concerned, but they've given me some vague responses that it would be just basically building it the same way. And if you had a garage that was built on the property line, then you'd be able to do that. You'd have to do it the same way so that it wouldn't, you'd be able to get your expedited permitting, and it wouldn't trigger any tax reassessment.
I'll have Stephen answer that question.
Thanks, May. Yeah, I'll put on my Crest real estate hat here. So the company that I run as my day job is Crest Real Estate. We're a land use consulting firm that handles a large number of projects throughout Los Angeles, and we've permitted hundreds of projects in the Palisades historically. So to be an eligible project, which is the type of project for a fire rebuild that gets to maintain non-conforming setbacks, the new design has to comply with two parameters. You have to be within 110% of the pre-existing building footprint. So that's if you were looking bird's eye view down at the home that existed previously, you basically look at the outline of the roof. And if that was 1,000 square feet, you can build a footprint of up to 1,100 square feet. And then you can, and then you also have to be within 110% of the height that existed previously. So if your home was 20 feet tall, you could go up to 22 feet. As long as you meet those two parameters, your project will qualify as an eligible project, which means you can maintain existing non-conforming setbacks. I will note that a couple things actually. So one, you can completely change the design of the home within those 110% parameters. If you had a traditional home and you want to go contemporary or vice versa, you want to shift around the rooms, or even within certain limitations, you want to move the building on the site, there's a lot of flexibility to do that and still remain an eligible project. So that said, even if you are not an eligible project, I do just want to make it clear because it's kind of a misnomer out there. Projects that exceed 110% are still being granted expedited plan check review within the city of Los Angeles. That only really becomes a problem being a non-eligible project if you are in certain parts of the coastal zone, which is not really an issue for most of the Palisades or most of the Alphabet Streets, excuse me. Now, with respect to these specific designs, the designs that have been sort of pre-approved, they haven't been, and I think I can speak for all of the programs, they haven't been designed specifically to qualify as, under the 110% for your specific property, because of course, they're designed to work for all properties. That being said, I think you'd certainly be able to find options within these catalogs that would be within 110% of what you had previously. It would just require a little bit of digging.
Great, thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Stephen.
I can add to that too. I mean,
Okay,
Stephen,
sure, go ahead.
that's all great. I think, and exactly with what the Foothill Catalog, what we're looking to do is get in Altadena specifically, for example, is there's homeowners with 800 square foot homes, which are so small, but there's homeowners with 2,000 square foot, larger, everywhere in between, who are looking for very specific options, but might not be able to have a custom option. So the variety that we're creating with our designs from small all the way to large, we're hoping that there will be several options that will meet like for like requirements for anyone's given situation. So creating homes, to Stephen's point, that are applicable for as many people's needs as possible.
Oh, that's a great answer. Thank you, Alex. Next, we'll have Leo Matt. Go ahead, Leo.
There we go. Unmuted now, I hope. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I had a question for Stephen. I've run into an LADBS issue with trying to stay within my 110% and my 110% of height. I am moving an old detached garage to being an attached garage, and they're not letting me put a second story on the new garage, even if I'm staying underneath my height limit. So I'm looking to, make a semi-subterranean garage. So, and still keeping my height limit under 16 feet. Do you know any reason why they would refuse that, even though it's inside the 110% footprint?
Yeah, so this was actually a key kind of back and forth with the city when they released their initial implementation guidelines. Originally, they weren't allowing you to take a detached garage and add it towards the building footprint of the main house. They are now allowing you to do that. So if you had a 1,000 square foot house and a 400 square foot garage, you can count that 400 square feet of the detached garage towards your building footprint and combine it all. But the garage has to remain single story. So they're not allowing you to take that part of the building footprint and double it up. And that is, it seems like they are sticking to that as of now.
Can you make it a deck?
I don't see anything that would prohibit you from using it as a second floor deck. Yeah, it just says single story, and a deck would not count as a story for the zoning code.
If you do decide you want to build the second story on top of the garage anyway, does that just put you in a different bucket?
I think I would have to look at the specifics of this property, and so feel free to reach out to me afterwards. I can shoot you up. I can't send you a direct message. My email is Steven, STEVEN @crestrealestate.com. Feel free to shoot me an email, and I'm happy to take a look into the specifics of your situation a little bit further.
So actually,
thank you.
Leo, I could answer that question too. We discussed this with the with LADBS last week at the AIA Zoom call, and so they're actually taking it into consideration right now. So it's in discussion internally with the department. So as soon as there's any response from them, we'll let you know. I mean, you're not the only one. There's been a couple of people that have raised that issue.
Hopefully it gets solved before we start construction.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because everybody on the panel knows this code is ever changing, but you know, at least they're listening, not like before. Before it was a lot more difficult. But anyway, with that said, we're kind of coming to an end. And I know there's still more questions in here, and I think there's a couple of zero zone questions. I'm hoping to actually, I've been in conversation with a few insurance companies, and then we're hoping to do another Zoom on the issue with zero zone and the other insurance concerns, and then possibly also include a couple landscape architects in it too. So stay tuned, and then we'll let you know. Okay, so I think with that said, I'm going to end the Zoom, and then hopefully everyone, are going to rebuild and come back. And that's the goal for these Zooms. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming to the panel. And I hope you guys all have a great night. All right. Take care.
Thank you, May.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
I too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.